the video on swimming. This is part 2 of a 3-part series on ocean swimming or open water swimming. And if you didn't see part 1, click here or check it out. I showed you the tools that you need, the 8 items you need for open water swimming. So once you've got your tools, now you need a plan of attack on how to tackle the open water, or the ocean as we say. To illustrate this to you clearly is, I'm going to go back to pen and paper. I drew a basic layout of what an indoor swimming pool looks like, but today I'm going to show you a basic drawing of what an outdoor beach or situation where you're swimming outside in the ocean would look like, okay? For a beginner or advanced. Okay, so let's draw a simple layout here for you guys. Okay, so first of all, I have to make sure that this pen is working. Okay, we're back. So here we go. I got a new pen here. Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, it works. Okay, so let's pretend this is the beach, and this is how the water looks like, or what it's going to look like this. And this is going to be the water, like so. Da, 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 da. Okay, these are the people that are giving themselves skin cancer by lying down and sun tanning on the beach. And here's the sun, Mr. Sun, coming outside for all to see. I'm an excellent drawer, by the way. This could be any beach layout, okay? So as you can see, for every beach there's like a sandy part, and then the water hits the sand here, right? And then you start seeing this ever so creeping distance from water to land, right? And we call that the deep area and the shallow area. Most of the people that you see playing in the ocean are usually kids or adults that are in this area. And what you don't see is, because the water is so murky and dark, you can't see anything. Most of these people are standing like this, right? They're not treading water, what you assume they are doing. No. They're just standing in the water and they're just cooling off. And if you just kept within this area, right? Like this shallow area itself, you'd be fine. I mean, if you had like a bird's eye view, I mean, let's pretend this is a bird's eye view, okay? This is the same situation, right? The person's lying down on the beach, sun tanning, and this is the water, right? Water is going this direction here, right? Call those the chops. The chops, the pork chops. If you were in this area again, this shallow area, and if you were just swimming, going along this area here, swimming back and forth, you'd be fine. These are the waves that are coming towards you this way. So a little trick for you guys that are trying to swim for the first time, okay? You're just gonna swim on the shallow end, but I also recommend that you look the opposite way of where the waves are hitting, okay? So the waves are coming at you in this direction. It makes sense to look in this direction if you're going to come up for air, because if you look at this direction, you're just going to get a mouthful of chops in your mouth. So it makes sense to just, yeah, swim along this edge, so you'll always be in shallow water, but always look onto this side. In this case, you're going to look to your left. For open water, I do 2 arms of front crawl for every 1 breath. If you just stuck to this pattern here, this simple pattern, staying in the shallow end, breathing on the opposite side of where the chops are facing, and yeah, having your feet touch the bottom like this, you'll be fine. Done deal, okay? That's all you have to do anymore, okay? But if you wanted to go into advanced mode, right, where you see these people that are swimming in this area here, that's a whole different story. Let's pretend we're in an area where our feet don't touch the bottom, okay? And where's the defining point? Like, where do we stop? Well, usually there's an indicator for that, and it's these guys, okay? What's this? It's not a balloon. It's called a buoy, okay? And usually there are several buoys scattered along the ocean front, okay? So that they make like a pattern like this. So from the bird's eye view again, they would look something like this. Now you have a reference point to where to swim, okay? So the buoys do 2 things, right? They tell people to never swim beyond it. Okay, so like this is your limit here, right? If you swim beyond this, you're going to be in the danger zone. And what's in the danger zone? Like objects like ships and yachts and jet skis and all kinds of vehicles that might run you over or crash into you. Okay, so you don't want to deal with these guys, okay? So that's why the buoys, they're a good indicator for the ships to stay away from, and for people swimming to stay away from as well, right? Don't go beyond this, and the ships won't go beyond this. So if I was a swimmer, and if I wanted to swim in the deep sea, I would swim in this kind of pattern, okay? So what most open water swimmers do is they follow the buoys, all right? So because there's not much you can see, you can't really see anything below the water, right? Surface. So you can only see what's up on top of the surface of the water. And the only things that you can really see or focus on are these buoys. So open water swimmers, they swim from buoy to buoy to buoy to buoy. It's that simple, right? And if we had a longer scope, right? So say like the buoy started moving like that, you notice that the swimmer would swim from this buoy to this buoy, and then he would swim to that buoy, and then to that buoy. And when they get tired, they just go back to the sea, the shore, and then the rest, okay? Simple. But let's examine this a little bit further, okay? So if you're alone, how do you take precautions in case, you know, something bad happens to you, like shit goes down, okay? So in this case, this is where a swim buoy comes in handy, okay? And so what's a swim buoy? I talked about this in part 1, the previous video. Swim buoy is something that you wear around your waist and attach. It's like a flotation device. It's like a suitcase, and you can put all your stuff in there, and it floats, and it acts like a pillow. So as you swim, if someone's swimming solo, like me, for example, right? I got my swim buoy on here. It stays on, it floats onto the surface like that. It's like a giant balloon attached to my waist with a belt. I put all my stuff, my belongings in here. So my wallet, my keys, sandals, whatever, okay? I put it here, and then I can swim solo. And then, for example, if I started here at this side of the beach, I can take my belongings with my swim buoy, and I can swim, and I can end up on the opposite end of the beach with all my belongings attached to me from the swim buoy. That's how people do it. Now, if you're afraid of swimming alone, right, or that the idea of swimming alone scares you, then you'll notice that open water swimmers swim in pairs. Okay, no, they're not holding hands, by the way. Two swimmers swim side by side, okay? And for two reasons. One, safety reasons, right? Because one can look after the other. And two, a semi-truck, right? And then a car that follows right behind a semi-truck on the highway, okay? So the car behind the semi-truck is taking advantage of the breaker of the semi-truck in front, right? The drag. And the same thing goes with two swimmers, right? One swimmer can swim out in front just a little bit, and the other swimmer behind them can take advantage of the drag that's being cut by the person in front. Which do you prefer, swimming with a partner or going solo with a swim buoy? Me, I like swimming solo because I can go whenever I want and I don't have to wait for someone. So yeah, but yeah, if I had a partner, this is our strategy. We would both carry swim buoys like this, and then we start at one end of the beach. We'd enter, swim out to the buoy, and then we just follow the pattern of the swim buoys like this, doing, 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 and we end up somewhere. And then if we want to, we can go back, doing, 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 boing, boing, back. And that's advanced swimming in a nutshell. If you're not ready for this challenge, don't worry. I mean, start small. Start at the shallow end of every beach front, okay? Just get used to planting your feet on like unsolid ground, which will be sand, and getting used to the chops or the waves of the water hitting your face, and get used to just adapting to your environment by doing head up front crawl, which I will explain in another video, how to adapt your front crawl for ocean or open water swimming, because it's a totally different technique. Let me summarize, okay? So again, we have an entry point at every beach, okay? And there's a shallow end, which most kids play. We've got chops to deal with, so to counter these chops, we look in the opposite direction to breathe, and we usually do like 2-arm front crawl and breathe on one side away from the chops. And then for advanced swimmers, we just venture out further and further out into the sea until we enter buoy territory, right? Are usually brightly colored to indicate for ships to stay away from, and for swimmers to not swim past. Okay, so this is like a buffer zone for ships and open water swimmers, so they don't hit each other. We can either choose to swim alone with a swim buoy attached to our waist, which carries all our belongings, or we can swim with a partner, and then we swim from buoy to buoy to buoy to buoy to buoy to buoy, from one end of the beach to another. And if you're ever lost, if you're ever stuck, if you don't know what to do, there's always a lifeguard patrolling, monitoring, watching all the activity that goes on in the beach. Okay, so the lifeguard is your best friend. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know where to go, if you don't know any of the rules that apply to whatever beach you're at, ask your local lifeguard. Okay, the lifeguard is your friend. Okay, so ask them questions before you enter. Tell them what you're planning to do. Like, say, hey, I'm planning to swim. What do you recommend? What path is popular? I'm just letting you know that I'm going to be doing some open water swimming. Let the lifeguard know so he doesn't have to worry about you whether or not you can handle chops or you can handle the open waters like this. If you have any more questions, leave your questions or comments down below in this video. Subscribe to this channel by taking your fist, wrapping it up, and hitting me with it. Check out our Facebook group down below. And you can join totally free. You can post videos if you're swimming. You can get feedback from me and be part of the community. Ask questions. If you want a course that teaches you how to swim from A to Z, check out my online swimming course, 7dayswim.co. Sign up for online swimming lessons. Stop wasting time. Stop wasting money on useless lessons at your local pool or trying to find answers on YouTube by clicking on video after video. Just take the course that I have set up for you from A to Z that teaches you how to swim from zero to hero, okay? And that's it. I'm gonna go back to what I do best, which is being in the water and looking like a carrot with a sunburn. I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye! Yeah.